Hey friends, happy Friday, December the 1st, day 39 of Experiencing God. How have you experienced God today? So today I experienced God through a word of knowledge. So a word of knowledge is one of the 9 gifts of the Spirit. It's a revelation gift. It helps us to think like God. It helps us to have the mind of Christ. And here's the thing about these gifts. We know from 1 Corinthians 12 that we are to desire the gifts, that we're to not be ignorant about them, and that they are the profit for all. So they are good for all of mankind because the gifts of the Spirit draw man to God. And so today I had my life group. It was our last time meeting. We've been reading this book, The Camels Are Coming by Ted Shuttlesworth. It's a great book on the gifts of the Spirit. I've really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot of great knowledge, and God's really brought revelation to me through that. But we have been reading it, and today was our last day meeting. And I felt like we were supposed to pray over everyone today, and that I was specifically supposed to pray this prayer of mobilization over everyone in the group today. Because here we are. We've learned about the gifts. We know how they look. We know we're supposed to use them. Now we need to do them. So I felt like I was supposed to pray and mobilize everyone today. And so there's this girl named Jess in our group, and we started praying for her. And I first laid hands on her. I prayed in the Spirit. And a lot of times I'll pray for people in the Spirit first, because when I pray in the Spirit, God gives me a revelation. And so I pray for her in the Spirit, and then I start praying for her in the natural. And as I'm praying for her in the natural in English, I say, God speaks to you through dreams. He shows you things in dreams. As I'm praying that, I stop and ask her, hey, does God speak to you that way? And she said yes. That was the first revelation, the first word of knowledge. And so as we continue on, I'm praying, and God drops it in my spirit to pray about this lady in Walmart. And so for some reason, I just say, you're going to use these gifts for this lady in Walmart. The Lord's going to show you something. And so we just continue on. It didn't seem like a big thing on my radar. But when we finished praying for Jess, she stood up and she said, actually, God's been speaking to me about a lady in Walmart. And so that is a word of knowledge. And so how God used that today is He put something on my spirit to share with her that encouraged her that she has been hearing that from God. And so now she's going to have the boldness to pray about what that person looks like and go and work in the gifts and witness to that person and love on that person and tell them, God's been speaking to me about, whatever. And I've come to share that with you. So I want to encourage you guys. The gifts are in operation. They're for the church. They're for the profit of all. They're for all of us, and they draw us to Christ. And so I want to encourage you, if you don't know about the gifts, now's the time to learn. We're to not be ignorant. We're to move in them. They bring power, and they show the love of God. They show the compassion side of God. And they show us that we're on the right track and we're doing what God's asked us to do. So I just want to encourage you guys, every believer can move in the gifts of the Spirit. Actually, God wants every believer to move in the gifts of the Spirit. So ask God today to equip you with the gifts and get moving.